Doug Hewett, you're still the one.
Oh, yeah.
You're still the one. You're still the city manager since the beginning of time.
No, not that long. Not that long.
Okay. Well, it's always good to see you. And Kenny Hitman McLean, I'm bringing you up because we have to congratulate Doug Hewett on his Hawaiian shirt today.
Very, very nicely done, sir.
It is. I'm impressed.
He's wild today.
Yeah. That's wild for you.
More product placement. You can find one, too, in your size at Sam's Club.
Okay. Shameless plugs here.
Yeah,
That's
it
all
is
right.
Hawaiian Shirt Friday, so thank you.
Well, you know the thing about Kenny, normally when he's up, he's got product placement in front of him there. It's been some weird stuff sometimes. Better take you off the camera real quick.
Thank you.
No telling what's going to happen. Doug, it's good to have you here. You come here every other Friday, and we just got back into the Hawaiian shirt thing, and I appreciate you in the spirit of coming on Good Morning Fayetteville. You don the appropriate attire. As I go to my aerial camera, we'll see David, on the other hand, is not appropriately dressed.
Needs to work on that.
There should be some penalties. Doug, you hear from serious things. You got some tennis courts, you got some things. And David sent me like 500 things last night that we can talk about here. What really sticks out in your mind in terms of what the citizens of Fayetteville should be aware of?
Well, this morning, it's probably something that's near and dear to my heart and for a lot of folks east of the river. We're doing a groundbreaking ceremony at 10 a.m. On Fields Road and Cedar Creek Road for Fire Station 16. It is going to be an 11,000 square foot facility, and it is going to serve that area as well as I-95 corridor as well. It's a brand new fire station. It's going to replace a temporary station that we had out there, but a temporary station we've had out there for almost 10 years. But it's going to be a really dynamic facility. It's also going to include a playground facility for the neighborhood kids and residents in that area, and we're really looking forward to breaking ground this morning.
You know, we had Captain Shake Shaft in here, and he talked about that. He said in the interim, until that's built, you kind of had a building that you kind of fixed up a little bit. Is that the city or is that the county that did that?
Oh, everything that's happening in the city. And we're really pleased. We've done a great job out of that temporary station right there in front of, I think it is the nursing home facility along Cedar Creek Road. But this is going to be a permanent station, and again, it's going to serve us for many, many years and decades in the future.
Well, you know, you have to have the foresight in order to put these things together, and they don't happen overnight.
No.
And so we got that one being built. How do we avoid a Station 4 situation at Station 16?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. Station 4, we're making great progress as well. As you know, City Council and the city received a report about the deficiencies in the station, as well as coming up with an idea whether or not the station could be repaired or needed to be demolished. We're working through mediation right now with the contractor and with their insurance company and hope to have a resolution for Fire Station 4 soon. But one of the big lessons that we learned from that is that we wanted to deliver these projects in a different capacity. And so we're using a fairly novel approach in Fayetteville, at least, called construction manager at risk, where we work early on with the architect and a preferred builder, not to go for the lowest responsible bidder, but trying to find someone who we know is going to be responsible, who's got a track record of success, who helps us design the station, and then gives us a guaranteed price. And so we've done that on Station 16, and it's really paying dividends, I think, once we break ground today and be able to get that station delivered in about 12 to 18 months.
So the city's not obligated to take the lowest bid?
No longer are we obligated to take under this procurement method, construction manager at risk. Well, on the one on Fire Station 4 on Bragg Boulevard, we use design bid build, and our lowest responsible bidder at the time was Brawley, and we see that doesn't always work out.
You know, let's switch channels here for a second. I was reading one of my stories this morning is this new Safe Streets initiative that's going on. It's a big deal for us. And what I was really intrigued by in reading the report was the fact that it is a concentrated area, that just 8% of the roads here provide for 76% of the fatalities. This is the data that we're seeing. So you have an area now that you can say, this is where we need to focus, but you're asking for public input as well. Absolutely.
And there's a survey online, and there'll be a variety of meetings and things as well, and that we have. But May 18th, there will be one at the Bill Chris Senior Center. Then we'll also have one on May 19th at College Lakes Recreation Center, on the 20th, Kiwanis Recreation Center, and then finally one on the 27th at City Hall. But all of that's on our website. But Gilbert, you're correct. when we look at the streets that we have in the city of Fayetteville, you probably tell your wife and your kids there are certain streets at certain times of the day you avoid. And if you were someone who was a bicyclist or you were a pedestrian, you always also know that there are places that may not have sidewalks. You may know that there are places that have bends in the road and curves. And so those are the areas that we know about that we're going to address, but there may also be other areas. And that's the feedback we want to get from citizens, pedestrians, motorists, and everyone else when we're doing this Safe Streets for All program.
You know, the thing that strikes me is the fact that you're asking for public input, and a lot of times people say, they're not going to pay any attention, but that's not the case. What is your thing that's called, Doug? You do Doug?
Doug in the District.
Right.
And we're actually having another one this coming Wednesday on the 13th over at Smith Recreation Center. Dr. DJ Hare, District 4, will be hosting us there. And there'll be an opportunity for us to kind of unveil a little bit what's going to be in the manager's recommended budget that I'll deliver to council next Thursday. And also been an opportunity for citizens to share with me, Dr. Hare, and the entire city team any issues about in District 4 or anywhere in the city as well. But those are all opportunities that we use to gather feedback and input for plans like this as well.
You know, as you make your way around, I remember you sharing a story that you were at one location and you found out there was another meeting going somewhere, and you hightailed it over there. It's important to you. Talk about why it's important for you to make eyeball-to-eyeball contact with the residents here.
It really is. I think that a lot of times people think that City Hall, City Council, and really their local government leaders are unapproachable. They may hear us on the radio, they may see us on TV, but it's completely different when you look at someone and they can tell you their story. You do it every day when on the radio. When someone looks at you and you can see their whites of their eyes, you can feel their pain, you can commiserate, you can also celebrate their joy. And those are the things that I think they're really empowering to me as a manager. I've been doing this for a while, as you said, but to be able to connect with the residents, to hear them and for them to hear and see and touch me is really important to me.
I'm going to put you on the spot here for a second because you didn't know I was going to ask you this, but in the course of having these events dug around the district, is there a story that really stuck out to you from a resident that you said, man, I'm glad I'm here and I'm glad I heard that?
Well, one of the ones I think that was most powerful to me is probably Ms. Lockamy, who she actually came to a city council meeting, and I've seen her at a couple of those on the public forum. And she talks about the impact of a large business in our area that has on her neighborhood and dust in the neighborhood. And she lives along North Street. And it's really easy to hear her talk about it. But when I actually took time to drive over there as well and to actually look at it, and the fact that Ms. Lockamy is one that actually walks to City Hall to deliver those comments and then walks home at the end of the night to afterwards because the buses have stopped running. It is amazing how, to me, that sometimes we take for granted how easy it is for us to transact business. But for what I picked up from Ms. Lockamy was that advocacy matters, but also the transportation services we deliver matter. The fact that we have sidewalks matter. All of those things that I take for granted that she uses on a daily basis. And had I not met Ms. Lockamy, it would have been something that would have escaped me that day.
If you're just joining us, Doug Hewett is the city manager here at Fayetteville. He joins us here on Good Morning Fayetteville every other Friday around this time of the morning. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You know, the story that you're talking about on North Street, I did a story about it on WRAL. And my stand-up in that was, it was a cliche. That this business, I was standing on the porch of someone's home. I picked up a rock and said, the business is a stone's throw away.
Yeah.
And you can hit it. The reason I bring that up is because it is the city's management and leadership and city council's folks and the county for that matter to set in place policies and restrictions so you don't have a business like that butt up against a housing area. We had it on Eufaula Street. You remember the landfill there? We did stories there. And it's normally the less fortunate folks that get the brunt of these things happening to them. And then now they've got rats or whatever coming from the landfill into their homes. And we have to move them out. But that was their home before the landfill was there. And I just bring this all up because here we are again at the beginning of the data centers. And now it's time for us to put some things in place to make sure we don't have another Eufaula Street or we don't have another North Street. and residents in our city being, butted up against something that's not necessarily what they signed up for when they bought their homes. Um, there's not a moratorium, but talk about where we are with the data centers. The mayor talked about it a little bit when he was here last week.
All right. Well, right now, the City Council has directed staff to, over the next 120 days or so, to work out an information plan for the community as well as council, as well as continue to develop what we think might be some reasonable responses to the concerns that people have raised, not only Fayetteville, but also that we've heard about from around the country as well. And over the next couple of months, you'll start seeing that roll out probably in reports that the staff will do to the City Council, maybe in some meetings that we'll have in the community where we're listening to the residents to make sure we fully understand what it is, what are their concerns, as well as to educate not only the staff, council members, but also the public about what data centers are and aren't. The Eufaula Street, I mean, you really have been here a long time, Gilbert. Most folks don't remember, don't even know how to say Eufaula, don't even know where it's at, as a matter of fact. That was probably one of the situations where they both had coexisted, and then the landfill expanded, and as other landfills around the area closed down. Where in today's society would you have put a landfill for a county on the river within a few miles of your downtown? You wouldn't. And those are some of the things that the council over the last couple of decades, and definitely with the issue about data centers, they would never repeat. They would never, ever repeat. They would never put an asset like the landfill, which is an asset, along your main assets, which is your drinking water, as well as your downtown. You can look at the top floor of the social services building, and you look out and you see this huge mountain, and you don't know what it is at the moment, and you look closer, and it's the landfill. It's one of the largest, probably the highest elevation.
That's the Ann Street landfill?
Ann Street landfill.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But one of the things with the data centers, if they come to Fayetteville or come to Cumberland County, we'll be able to do is, number one, we'll have appropriate zoning, so they'll be in the right location. We'll have appropriate regulation so that we'll know what the impacts will be not only today but tomorrow. And we'll also have teeth to make sure that that's enforceable. All the things that we kind of lacked with the landfill, things we lacked with some of the other businesses, which are good businesses. We want the business. We want the economic development. But you're right, it has to be marry up to what the community can accept and will accept as well.
Well, the unfortunate thing about even the data centers is you don't have a crystal ball. We didn't have a crystal ball with Eufaula Street to know that the Ann Street landfill was going to expand or the other ones are going to shut down. And then you have this issue, or even that the concrete place out there was going to thrive and really grow and get bigger. And now there's dust over the community. People are suffering with respiratory issues, have to deal with the dust, not only on their cars, but in their lungs. And so what's the crystal ball on the data center? I think that's what this pause is about. It's what the moratoriums are about that the county is talking about in terms of really making sure we have policies in effect, not for today, but looking, in the future, long term, about what the impact of these centers are going to have in the community. Because these say, hey, we love to get the money, but what's the long-term impact?
That's so true.
Okay.
Just two other quick things as well, if you have it. On Monday's City Council agenda is going to be action-packed as well. One of the last projects that we have for the Market House and the Market House Square is we'll be letting the contract for the pedestrian improvements around the Market House. That will signal really the completion of the Market House renovation and restoration projects that we've had. You already saw that we've done the repairs to the building. We fixed the roof, which we did not know was damaged at all. We fixed and repaired the clock tower. We've done the lighting, which I hope that you and your listeners have seen, that we have is beautiful at night, the Market House lighting. We're going to be installing kiosks to be able to tell the city's historic but accurate story of what happened at the Market House. And the last one is the pedestrian improvements that we're putting in. And that may take about 12 months or so once it gets started. And it'll be a little bit of a disruption around the Market House, but it'll be big. The other big transportation project is that on Morganton Road at Northview, there's been a real request from residents, drivers, citizens, and everyone for a traffic light. After the last big hurricane, we had, I think it was Mirror Lake Road that got washed out. And for over a year, those residents, the school kids, everyone had to come out through Northview. And it just created an absolute nightmare of traffic in that area, particularly in the morning. It was a safety project as well. NCDOT responded. They're putting in a traffic light there, and the city's doing the municipal agreement with them as well. So just a lot of transportation stuff happening in the city of Fayetteville this month.
All right. Well, that's why it's important to have you here every other week. Talk about where we are with these different projects. Doug Hewett, City Manager for Fayetteville, thank you so much. And thank you for wearing your Hawaiian shirt on Friday. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. Right now, we've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
It looks very good on YouTube, by the way.
Friday will be mainly sunny with a high of 74. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 54. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 80 and a few scattered showers, while Mother's Day will be partly cloudy with a high of 85 and showers arriving by late afternoon. While we will have plenty of dry time on Sunday, the showers that arrive late will persist into Monday. And after we start cool early next week, temperatures will be near normal with more rain by midweek. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Right now, we've got 55 degrees in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Spring Lake. And Doug, I think you look good with the fedora. Think about it. You're listening to News Talk 640. We're WFNC.
Del Hair Plumbing. Fast, friendly, reliable. Flush your troubles away. Del Hair Plumbing. Clogged drains? Call Del Hair Plumbing. Serving Fayetteville and surrounding areas. Fast and reliable. From leaks to water heater repairs. Flush your troubles away with Del Hair Plumbing today. 910-429-9939.
Cumberland County's hometown news and information source. News Talk 640 WFNC. Stream on iHeart anytime, anywhere. Just search WFNC.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of